I am Cash, and welcome to Good Goal or Bad Defending Premier League edition, where I break down the goals of the Premier League, try to teach you what they're doing right and wrong, and maybe you can either use it in your coaching sessions or use it for yourself to become a better player. Now, I want to show you this nice little run here by Haaland. And it's actually interesting because you can see what this defender's doing, and he immediately starts calling for an offside. I'm going to show you this, and of course, all the ball's already in play, so it's already in motion. And then before I move it on, actually, I'm going to show you how to run this coaching session. If you're doing this as a coaching session, right, and you've got your 18-yard box, what you'd be doing is you'd be putting a line of little cones on a little curve like that, making a curved run. That's what you'd be doing. So they just follow the run, and you'd have one coming in from that side and one coming in from that side, and you'd have two ball players, and you're trying to make sure that these ball players play the ball onto the end of that run, right at the right moment when they break the line of the defenders. You'd have the defenders being passive for the first 10 or 15 minutes, then you make them active so they actually look to try to win the football, okay? That's what you'd want to do so that you can get used to that run, get used to the timing of the pass, and used to that guy finishing and getting some, goals under his belt and feeling good about himself. Then you activate the defenders and you make it harder. Now let's have a little look at what's going on here with this defender. Watch. Bosh. As we move it forward, immediately they're putting their hand up. Because his run is timed so perfectly, they think he started it early because he's got in behind that defender in that little bit of space. Okay, so let's go move it on. Bosh. And of course, then it's across. And there's the goal. Let's try to find another angle as you can see that run a little bit better. Okay, so this is the angle that I was really wanting to look at here, so I can break this down for you. Can you see how the back four is not in line? How this guy stepped forward? That's the guy that's raising his hand. He's clearly onside. We can see that. We're going to get onto that in a minute. Yeah, there's that little extra space because this guy hasn't come well. It wouldn't matter if he's in level with him anyway. He needs to be running with Haaland. Haaland's made this brilliant run in behind. Bosch in behind, stronger than that guy. All from that run, all from that simple run in behind, because this guy's a little bit too... It wouldn't matter if he's in line anyway, because he's still not going to play Haaland offside. It's basically, this defender here has got no idea that he's behind him. And the only way that he can any way that they can beat this run here, because the run and the pass is so great, either you've got to have pressure on the ball, so that pass can't happen, which they don't have, right? Or you've all got to step at the same time, the right back and this guy here, and that means has to come a shout from someone. So there's a lot of things there that's really, Man City have just outplayed them, quite frankly, because they don't have pressure on the midfield here. If the midfield's pressure on this ball, and he can't make that such a great pass, this run gets put to waste. The run happens, the ball doesn't get there, blah, 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 but it's all perfect. And of course, then they get the goal. Let's have a look at the next one. Just like always, before we go on to the next one, I'm going to call out some muppet in the Premier League. This chap here with his hand up. He's the one that really thinks he's made a mistake, which he probably has, because Haaland's made his run from his side behind the other defender without him calling it. So he's asking for help from his mummy and daddy because he didn't play the football right. Play the game right. Don't raise your hand. Do a man's job. Here we go. We've got a corner coming in and Fulham get their goal. Now here's my problem. I'm going to say it a million times. Nobody's on the post. Now, I don't necessarily believe having two people on the post. Look how well they've defended. They've got everybody away. But in this situation, I'd always have a person on the post on the back here. The keeper's got the front post. We're all happy with that. Now, if there was more of a melee and there was more people pushing into the box, I might have a person on the front post. But in this situation, I would definitely have someone on the back post if I was that keeper. And remember, it's not about defending the post. You're defending all of this area in front of you from here, because you're facing this way down the field, so you can clear any ball in this area. So if anything bounces, you can run out into this zone here and challenge it. Your job is not to sit here and hug the post like you do in Sunday League, going, well, I was defending the post. No, you start on the post and you run out and defend that space. Okay, as you can see, that's brilliantly drawn by me. Let's get on to the next one. Get on to the goal. Move it forward a bit, boys. Here we go. Bosh. Bit of a mess. Now you can see if there's somebody on that post, he's already realising there's a player there. Bump. And he's stopping that tap-in. Absolutely stopping that tap-in. And the reason why specifically on this one as well, let's just go back and show you a little bit more. Because there's nobody on this side of the field, really. Keeper so far forward, and this whole side is pretty unmarked. So anything that drops down, I'll also have a player up here as well, because you've got to cover those areas. Didn't. 1-0. Now let's get on to the controversial cheating in the Premier League. Here we go again. Now you see that right now, same thing I'd be thinking about. I'd be thinking about having a guy here on this back stick here, just because there's a lot of space. Okay. maybe even on the front, because this isn't quite, I'm not quite happy with all this. Let's have a look what's goes on though. Move this forward. Bosh, as it's coming across, bit of a melee, bit of a fight. Do you see this top man here? I'd always, if you're defending, stand near this D. If you're attacking, stand near this D, because if the ball drops, you get a free shot. Look how unmarked he is. Unbelievable. Ball comes in, he headers the ball. Watch this. That's not offside, according to the Premier League. They did a VAR check. He's not offside, standing in front of the keeper, trying to play the ball. They go, oh no, he dodged it out of the way. You can see the keeper doesn't move. I'm going to show you a different angle in a minute. The keeper doesn't move because he's clearly in an offside position, and the keeper doesn't think that he's going to, actually thinks he's going to touch the ball, then react. Watch. All right, let's have a look. Just to show you that the cheating VAR, he's clearly in an offside position. The ball's getting clearly played towards him. As the ball goes forward, they say he's not offside. Let's show you the angle. He's not interfering with play. This is the problem I've got. He's directly interfering with the play. He's directly inside of the goalkeeper, and the ball's going towards him. Let's watch. According to these Muppets in the booth, that's not travelling towards the player. He's not trying to play the ball, so it's not offside. He's clearly interfering with play. Clearly. You two are Muppets, or you're paid off. You're either completely incompetent at your job, or you're paid off officials. You can't have one or the other, because that's clearly interfering with play. Is he obstructing the view of the goalkeeper? Yeah, right there he is, because the ball's right near this player, and this player's clearly offside. Right, so let's move it forward. Bosh. And it goes in the goal. Yay. That's offside, boys. If you do that in the Premier League. Now, here's the problem. Fulham collapsed after that because it was 1-1. Man City got the goal. Obviously, Man City are at home. And now Fulham absolutely capitulated the rest of the game. Do you know why? Because they got cheated. And they all know they got cheated. And when Man City don't need help to beat Fulham. They just don't. Let's be fair. If you're Fulham and you're saying, oh, we're 1-1 at a certain point in the game and we've got a foothold in the game at Man City, great. You're feeling happy. But when that happens, all of the air goes out of Fulham. They know that they can't beat City now. It's 2-1 in the manner of the goal. Like if it was a penalty decision and they're going, oh, we feel aggrieved by the penalty decision, but that's not a penalty decision. That's a blatant offside. That's blatant cheating. They can see that. They go, well, there's no point in us playing the game. The ref's just going to make up rules. He's clearly obstructing the guy. So let's get on to the next made up rules that this idiot referee in VAR does. Okay, now Fulham are playing almost at walking pace because they kind of had enough, and Man City are just waiting to pick them apart. But let's have a look again of how they do that. When the ball comes in here, let's move it on a bit. Dosh. Here we go. There's no real pressure because they'll just get passed around if they really pressure the ball. They're not good enough. They know it. Ball comes in here. But now look. Do you see how he snuck behind these two players here? So if we draw a box right now around these players, okay, we can see what's ended up happening is we've got 2 against 1, because if the pass beats these front 2 here, they're irrelevant. Watch what happens. Bosh. Oh, it doesn't go that way. It goes completely the other way, over to here. But look, that run again, he's in behind. Again, see that little space where this guy's too far up? The same problem again, they're not in line. Would it really matter? Probably not. It'd still be onside. Bosh, in it goes behind, and he slots it in. There we go. He makes it. What's that? 3-1. And let's get on to the next goal. The next goal is a penalty decision. I try not to cover penalties unless it looks really dodgy. That one looked like a fair gov pen. Not the City needed the help. And of course, Haaland does what Haaland does. Smacks it in the net box and gets a goal. Let's have a look at the final goal, shall we? Okay, anyone who's watching last week will know what I was talking about, these spaces down here and how dangerous they are if they just let players run into there. Sometimes you're better off standing there and because the guy's got the ball anyway, right? So him running in there, you're giving him the space to run into. If you kind of stand there, you take the space away from him. Do you play that player onside? Yes. Do you play everyone in the box onside? Yes. But the player with the ball, you take his space away so he can't run into it. Watch. Here, he starts to run into it, and this is the problem. All of a sudden, now you're reacting, instead of being proactive, being there, and pushing him into the field. Now he does this. Watch. Stands him up, makes him look like a fool. Off you go, Sonny. One player here, but he's world class. Another player here, but he's world class. You can see all the space is here and here. Watch this pass. Still there. They're getting drawn towards the ball. Right, this is one of the other things I've got a problem with. Yeah, you know he's going to pass it, but you've stopped trying to block the pass. You've got to put pressure on the ball. These two guys did, and they both got beaten. Fine. But it doesn't mean you can't go and get beaten as well, Sonny. Go to the ball. Go to the ball. And he doesn't. He stands there. The pass comes in. and he smashes it in the net box. But to be fair, I think Fulham were done as soon as they had that really bad decision against them. I think they were mentally beat. And who can blame them, to be honest? I mean, that's just awful officiating, awful VAR. And yeah, we'll see you again next time on Cash Talks the Old Football.